Alright guys and girls, let's get into our morning prep. Can't hop on a live stream this morning, but can still jump into a quick video here. So here's some charts you want to pay attention to. I noticed one of you, I think Brandon, just actually mentioned this in the chat room, and my brother mentioned this to me as well. So American Airlines, ticker AAL, is set to have a nice strong move here this morning on good earnings. And before trading any stock, you want to take a look at the group. So you look at Delta Airlines, they've been pretty oversold. Southwest has made a nice bounce back. So looks like we could begin to see some kind of move to the upside in the airliners if they are having positive earnings. So here's the kind of things we can pay attention to. As you guys already have seen and noted, we got the 4-hour setup here with that 180 SMA. So may not reach that level today, but this is definitely one to watch over the next 4 weeks. And here's an awesome thing. Because we've already identified this setup, because we already identified that moving average, we already know the details in the game plan for this trade. We're going to go long on a strong break above that level. You take your position somewhere in here, and that sucker either works or it doesn't. And you position size correctly, and it doesn't really matter either way. These setups have the potential to be big. Really big. All we can do to put ourselves in a position to catch one of these maybe once a month is continue to identify these as a team and continue to just reinforce the game plan and the thought process behind these trades. So American Airlines is definitely one to watch, and just keep your eye on the other airlines as well. LUV, DAL, Delta Airlines. Make sure the whole group is seeing some positivity. Now let's see. Now in terms of the overall market and my positions, so first we'll take a look at JNUG. Now, as I mentioned, this one's a volatile one, and I kind of made a rookie mistake here on this trade. I positioned size correctly. I took a great entry. I did all the things I would want to do, but I bought the wrong options, Not really thinking, not really just, doing my due diligence. I bought the options that are going to expire tomorrow. Taking into consideration that it was already a short week, it was really not a good move on my end to buy this week's expirations now that I think about it. This has to literally blow up today or tomorrow for me to have a chance to make a profit. Now, I'm cool if the position goes to zero. I put in the correct size, but nonetheless, guys, as options traders, that's something you need to always consider. Let's make sure that we're buying options that give us give us and give this setup enough time to make that move that we're actually looking for. So that's just something I noted there on my JNUG trade. I thought I'd share with you guys. And now we'll jump into a few key levels on the indexes and the leading names to pay attention to. So we'll start here with the SPY. A little bit of green pre-market, nothing crazy at all. Here's the levels I would pay attention to. We've got a pretty clear level of support the last few days, right around that 260, 80, 265 level. So that's a level I'm going to pay attention to right there. Pretty much yesterday's lows. If we do see some weakness today, do we go test the lows of yesterday and do we break lower? Or if we see some strength today, can we break above the high of that bar and maybe possibly go test yesterday's highs? So yesterday's high, yesterday's low, that's something that I'm going to pay attention to for potential levels of rejection or support today on the SPY. So you guys should open up your charts, take notes on those same levels as well. The high and the low of yesterday. And pretty much the same thing here for the Qs. Now the Qs held up a little bit better yesterday, it seems. And same thing here, guys. If we do see some strength, do we go up and test yesterday's highs? Do we find resistance at that level, or do we make a clean breakout? And then if we see weakness, yesterday's low around 160.25, does that turn to support, or do we leak below there and then potentially come down here and test 158, 159? Those are the few levels on the Qs I'm paying attention to. And then in terms of my position here in Nflx, so far I'm still in decent shape. So I went short Nflx below the 200-day moving average, which is that red line right here, that red moving average. So on that strong break on what would have been Tuesday, I bought my puts. Now, I did the correct thing here, and I bought puts that expire next Friday. So I have some time on my hands, and this trade is very similar to that 4-hour 180 setup. And if you haven't seen that video yet, it's in the members area, but the same kind of, fundamentals here. I already knew where I was going to go short. We're going short that 200-day moving average. I knew where I wanted to take my entry. And now I know where I'll take my exit. If this thing comes up and it breaks back above, the high of that day, I may take that position off. But because I position size correctly, and because I bought the right options that actually have enough time, unlike JNUG, I can patiently just sit back and let this thing do its work. So in terms of levels for Nflx that I'm paying attention to, I found good support here yesterday around that 318, 319 level. If we see weakness today and break below there, we could see a bounce around here, 312. And then if it leaks below there, there's really no telling where it could go. To the upside, what I'm going to pay attention to is yesterday's high. That 331 level. Can we break above that? And if we can break above 331, do we come back up here to test that important 334, 335 level? So these are just the kinds of things that I've been looking at on a daily basis in terms of my personal, trading. And aside from, the 4-hour setups, these are the kinds of things that I've been trading. Breakdowns of key levels, going long at levels of support, all just basically playing the important levels on my personal favorite time frame, which is the 195. So whatever your favorite time frame is, start to spend more time studying it, identifying key levels, and then really taking note of how those stocks trade on those levels. So that's something I've been doing. It's really helped already this year. And that's pretty much it for today, guys. Didn't see any big volume come into the market yesterday, so we really could go either way today. I wouldn't load up any direction, rather just sit back, let the dust settle, and then have a few setups for longs, for shorts, and you'll be prepared regardless of which way we head today. So best of luck today, guys. I'll be back before the open, and I'll talk to you all in the chat.